Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We are unpacking something pretty massive today, an absolute masterclass on a concrete, step-by-step framework designed to help you shift from a struggling, overworked freelancer to a highly scalable agency founder. If you've been stuck at a revenue plateau for a while, or you just feel like you're working around the clock without building any real systems, well, we're going to change that right now. So here is our roadmap for the day. We'll kick things off with a Desi founder mindset, then map out your core skills, craft that perfect offer, perfect your messaging, and wrap it all up with your value and pricing strategy. Let's dive in.
Starting with Section 1, the Desi founder mindset. Hustle is absolutely a mental game.
Before we even touch on scaling an IT or digital marketing business, we have to talk about the harsh reality of starting an agency in South Asia. Saad Manir puts it so perfectly. He says, rain or no rain, if you can even crawl to your office, start working. As a founder, you're going to face frustration, anxiety, and days with literally zero clients. You might send out endless emails and DMs, and you're absolutely nothing back. But true hustle, it means waking up, showing up, and pushing through that grind every single day, no matter what.
And you have to understand there's a really stark contrast between standard Western coaching and the everyday reality for a Desi founder sitting in Pakistan, India, or Bangladesh. You'll watch these international coaches telling you to just, send a few cold emails. But the reality? An email from a guy named Steven in Seattle is probably going to get a higher open rate than an email from a South Asian founder. It's just a simple lack of immediate cultural connection. You cannot just copy-paste advice that was built for a local US market and expect it to work flawlessly when you're trying to bridge this massive geographical gap. You really have to own your unique positioning.
All right, moving on to Section 2, mapping your core skills. This is the foundation of your entire agency. Before you try to sell a single thing, you have to brutally and honestly assess what you are actually capable of delivering. To do this self-audit, you want to categorize your abilities into 3 distinct buckets. First, you have your priority or king skills. These are things you are an absolute expert in, like maybe you're a king at SEO or total wizard at video editing. Next up are your secondary skills. You've got the theoretical knowledge here, right? Like, you know how an app is built, but you couldn't code it yourself to save your life. And finally, your low priority skills. These are areas where you have absolutely zero knowledge, things like setting up complex AI automations or running Facebook ads. Mapping this all out gives you a crystal clear picture of what you can actually offer with confidence.
Now, here's where it gets really actionable. You take those king skills and you map them to 3 very specific things: industry, location, and solution. If you're a video editor, who exactly are you editing for? Real estate agents? Okay, that's your industry. Where are they located? Dubai? The US? There's your location. And what exact problem are you solving for them? Maybe you're taking their long-form podcasts and turning them into 30 high-retention short reels. By connecting your skills to a specific industry, geography, and solution, you instantly transition from just being some generic freelancer to a highly targeted problem solver.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 3, crafting the perfect offer, or how to actually package those skills. Now that we know what you're good at, we need to move from having just raw skills to packaging them into an irresistible solution, something clients actually want to take their credit cards out for. Every perfect offer is built on 4 core building blocks. Step 1 is the service itself, so what you're actually doing. Step 2 is implementation, which means your exact timeline and deliverables. Step 3 is the output, meaning the tangible real-world result the client gets. And Step 4 is the cost, factoring in your profit margins. Oh, and a super important side note from the source material here. If you're a beginner making less than $5,000 a month, stay general at first. Accept all non-toxic clients just to build up your cash flow and experience. You can start aggressively niching down once you actually have a stable foundation. But you might be wondering, how do you actually determine that cost? Well, it all comes down to value. And value isn't just about the raw hours you're putting into the work. Your value is heavily driven by your lead generation channel and your overall brand positioning. Think about it like this. If you're desperately cold messaging a stranger in a Facebook group, they hold all the power, right? Your perceived value is incredibly low. But if that exact same client sees you speaking on a stage or they've been following your high-level content on LinkedIn and they reach out to you, your value skyrockets. They're paying for your authority and your trust now, not just your manual labor. Okay, Section 4, perfecting your messaging. How to talk so clients actually buy.
You have a great offer now, but how do you pitch it so it instantly clicks with a prospect? It all boils down to your lingo. So many tech founders fall into a massive trap right here. They kind of assume that using hyper-technical, super complicated jargon makes them sound smart and professional. But in reality, it literally just confuses the client. If a business owner wants a website, they do not want to read a white paper about your tech stack. They want simple, easy-to-understand language that speaks directly to their business needs. Keeping it simple is what actually wins a client's trust.
So to fix this, you need a very specific messaging formula, and it's got 3 parts. First, you state the deep problem they're facing. This is usually tied to them losing money or just lacking results. Second, you state the exact output or the benefit they're going to get by working with you. And third, you back the whole thing up with a solid guarantee. Now, that guarantee could be financial, like a money-back refund. It could be time-bound, like promising delivery in 30 days. Or it could be format-based, where you guarantee a very specific quality standard.
Let's actually look at a real-world example of a one-liner pitch that uses this exact formula. We build MVP apps in 4 weeks, which can be scaled to shipment. Notice how incredibly simple that is? It addresses the problem. They want a functional product fast. It provides the output, a scalable app. And it guarantees a time-bound 4-week delivery. There's zero fluff there, no crazy jargon, just a very clear, compelling promise. Finally, we arrive at Section 5, Value and Pricing Strategy. It is time to stop pricing out of desperation. Seriously, we have to stop pricing services just to pay the bills this month and start pricing based on the actual value you deliver. Cost-based pricing is that classic freelancer mindset. Well, I have no work, so I guess I'll just build this website for $200 just to survive. Value-based pricing, on the other hand, is the founder mindset. It's recognizing that if the website you build is going to help a client generate tens of thousands of dollars in new revenue, then charging $5,000 for it is honestly a bargain. But again, as we discussed, you can only command that kind of premium price tag if you've already built up that brand positioning and authority. And when you do present your pricing, you should really leverage the psychology behind a 3-tier model. You see this everywhere for a reason: basic, popular, and premium. By offering a basic tier, you make it super easy for clients to just get their foot in the door without taking on a massive risk. But you strategically design those tiers so that upgrading from basic to popular feels like an absolute no-brainer. It completely removes the friction of just dropping one massive price tag on them and naturally guides the client toward a much higher value engagement. So that brings us to one final, really provocative thought to leave you with today. In South Asian culture, there is this term, kolhu ka bail. It refers to an ox that wears blinders and just walks in an endless circle grinding oil. The ox thinks it's traveled miles and miles, when in reality, it hasn't gone anywhere at all. So you have to ask yourself, are you just blind hustling without a system? Or are you ready to implement this framework, map your actual skills, craft a real offer, and finally build a scalable agency? The choice is entirely yours. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.